Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back with you for some BB Q&A here on Friday. I believe you're year 4 of BB Q&A, and very excited for a guy who brings the A's to so many of your Q's. Of course, the great Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
I'm doing well. We've got lots of A's in the house.
Yeah.
So hopefully that means we'll have a good season of A'ing the Q's.
A in the Q's, okay? And so
We
we'll
need
be
more Q's
here
in the house.
on Fridays. This Survivor Q&A really like ballooned into like these marathon shows. I will say, Taran does have is like double duty, is like has to also keep an eye on the feed. So let's try to keep it a little tight if we can here, because we got a lot of people to get to on the BB Q&A here on Fridays, and a little bit earlier. I feel like that normally we might start like a little bit later. Would you like this time, or you would prefer to do it later?
I
What's
mean,
good for
this is
you?
working now just because it's, I prefer like having less of a break in between the podcasts. So I'm not like
Okay.
waiting around for the next podcast.
All right. So
But,
maybe we could go right into it then.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's what's going on here today. Derek is here. Of course, that if you have not seen Derek on any of the shows, he's our patron experience manager. It's a patron show. Derek, how are you?
I'm doing good. TGIF.
Yes, you said that twice now. Is it like, was this a rough work week for you, Derek?
No, not at all. I just try. Look, Rob. Sometimes it's a dark world, and you just got to stay positive.
Just wants to celebrate.
Yes.
Any reason to.
Was this a particularly bad week for you, or you're not
No.
on the Epstein list or anything, right?
Rob,
You're
are
not-
you kidding
okay.
me?
Okay.
No, it was a good Big Brother week too. You
Yeah.
know, it's a good Friday. We got
Okay.
we got excitement in the house.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's an exciting week. So yeah,
Yeah.
TGIF is in like it's so exciting to have a new week of Big Brother, a new HOH.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. So what's going on, Derek?
Rob, just two quick patron announcements. We set our we finally set our Mario Kart World patron night for Tuesday night. Marianne will be joining us. Beth will be joining us. We got some patrons joining us. Information for that was posted on Discord. It was posted in the patron community chat.
Okay.
If you on Facebook, if you can't find it, reach out to me. And then we set our Minnesota event dates. We will be doing a Big Brother watch party in Minneapolis Thursday, the 31st for that eviction night. And then we'll be doing the Minnesota State Fair on Sunday, August 3rd. Information for that has also been posted. We're going to do a similar to the RJP live events. We're going to create
August 3rd?
August 3rd.
Wow.
No, I did that wrong. Did I do that wrong? Sorry. Big Brother's Thursday, August 28th. The State Fair, August 31st, that Sunday.
Yeah.
Sorry about
Okay.
that. I was looking at my wrong
It's
week.
coming up.
Yeah. We are creating a separate RJP Live Discord event, similar to how we do the RJP Live one. So, if you want to come and you're not included in that Discord, reach out to me, and that way you can stay in touch on all the plans. Rob, I brought a couple of fun visuals today. If you're willing to humor an idea I had. So, it's a little soon to talk BB Comics. However, I think that behind the scenes, they're already, we talk about this every year, that sometimes people have very weird comics, and it's like, well, they probably had to start making them early because they got to hire the artist and whatever. So, I thought it might be fun to try to predict some comics this year. And
you have a bit?
Yeah, I already have some ideas, Rob.
Okay.
So I'm gonna first I want to talk about Ashley. And I feel like if we had to pick a comic for Ashley this week, I feel like she might be the easiest one.
Yeah, the shower.
Pretty easy.
Yeah. So I'm trying to share an image, Rob.
Yeah,
here we
okay,
go.
here you go.
Can I add this?
All right, here. All right, shower power. Okay.
Obviously, for
Yes.
obvious reasons. Shower Queen. this could be Ashley's comic if she doesn't do anything else crazy or exciting.
Could be. And Derek, I just want to. So you made you created these and didn't consult with Rob Cesternino or anything like this in the creation of this. So if anybody doesn't like it, then this was Derek's idea.
Yep.
And this is actually a huge surprise to Rob that we're doing this right now.
We don't have to, Rob. We can quit.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. What else you got?
All right. The next one I got is Adrian, which is a little bit more of a stretch, but I thought he had a very silly segment this week with the washing machine.
Yes.
And if this image can be added here.
Here he is.
The washing machine. You know, he always got like that robotic type character.
Yeah.
It's a little silly. You know, we'll see. Maybe he has an ongoing feud with the washing machine. Maybe it becomes a bit this season.
Yeah, I think I probably would go like Spin Cycle or something like that.
That's better. That's better.
Like washing machine's a little on the nose.
It is. I'm open to suggestions from the patrons if they have ideas to pump up some of these names or some of these characters.
Yes. Okay.
All right, I got one more for you, and this one's a bit of a stretch. Okay. Because there's always that character like the Memphist, where there's like a body part involved. Yeah. It's very random. And so I wanted to highlight Vince because he had an interesting week. And I went with Jaw Bliss.
Okay, because he has no job.
He has no job. He's unemployed. Yeah. And he was talking about cheesing. He's got a big smile, kind of aloof.
All right. Well, so, Derek, this was an interesting project that you, Derek, did on your own that was not this is not
RJP
officially
approved.
Signed off on by Rob Cesternino or any of the because the chat is I think the chat seems very pro. They love it.
Okay, good. Well, look, I thought I would surprise you with something today, and if you don't want me to do this again, I'm not offended.
Yeah,
but if the patrons like it, send me some more ideas. It might be fun to track throughout the season. See if we can guess some comics.
All right. Anything else going on in the patron world?
That's
Derek?
it. Okay. That's it for now.
Thank you so much. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
I'll be in the background.
Okay. All right.
Rob, when are we getting our disclaimer overlay that pops up every 30 minutes?
Yeah. We'll work on having a lower crawl on the screen. Okay. All right.
The views expressed by the hosts of this podcast do not represent the RJP.
Right. Okay. Let's go to Nikki is here. It's been so long since I talked to Nikki. Nikki, how are you? Oh, I see Nikki perfect backstage, and then it didn't work. So we'll bring Nikki back. Let's go to another great friend of the podcast. Amanda is here. Amanda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Amanda, thank you for jumping in on that late-breaking Renap stuff yesterday.
Yeah, of course. Always happy to help out there.
Yes. Okay. So, Amanda, how's your summer going? A nice summer off?
Summer off.
Relaxing.
Season. And I have to say, I'm really here for this start of the Big Brother season. I'm really feeling the blockbuster, and I'm not normally here for one returnee being back, but I feel like Rachel's been brought back in a way that feels like relatively fair. So I'm really here for it this season.
Yeah, I think the issue usually is with bringing back one returnee is that they come in and they dominate everything. And that has not been the case so far of that. Like, it's not like, okay, this is Rachel's house that she's lording over, and none of these newbies like has a chance in hell to do anything.
Yeah, she doesn't have any friendship bracelets to give out. Like, I think she came back in probably the way that feels most fair.
Yeah.
I was thinking, though, I really want to talk about all of the powers that were just released into the game last night.
Yeah, Taran, in case people either didn't get to listen to the live feed update yet or maybe forgot, could you just give us the run through of a little bit of lay of the land, HOH, powers that are out there?
Yes, Jimmy has won the HOH. We believe that there are 3 powers, and we believe that we know what they are. One is that Keanu says that he has won the power to have double the odds of winning a veto competition that he competes in. which is a little strange because Kelly also won a power that seems somewhat similar in that she will get the chance to potentially win a second veto in the week, like a separate veto from anybody else that's competing, very similar to the Leah situation from last season, where she's going to have some kind of task she needs to complete in order to activate her veto. And then biggest one, Mickey has won the power to overturn an HOH, any HOH in the pre-jury phase of the game, as long as the HOH does not guess that she is the one that did it, which is the caveat to that power, which we talked about. It does make it like the best version of this, but it's still a pretty annoying power in general.
Amanda, would you call this, is this like the Killer Miller?
Yeah, I think I would call it that for sure. I'm a little bit, I'm kind of wondering, like, these three powers don't seem equitable at all. And so do we know how they were released in the HOH competition themselves, or?
So it was the black box-esque kind of competition. It might have been like a basement kind of deal, but they were crawling around looking for, I think, objects to fit into certain slots, essentially. And one of them, I think, was the HOH, and then three of them were different powers. And so depending on which object you got to fit into which slot, that was you got the corresponding power.
I'm kind of wondering for Kelly's power, if she has to do, does it sound like the task that she has to do is something that's going to be very public, or might it have something to do with like the safe hidden behind the painting, like something she has to do covertly?
Yeah, I mean, they're wondering that. Jimmy was joking around about how, because this is already spreading, Jimmy was joking around about how, like, if she tries to hug you for like a long period of time, like, don't let her. If she's trying to like run some kind of yoga, like, don't let her do anything that feels out of the ordinary, in case it is like an America's Player-esque thing. But my guess is that it's more like the Leah thing, where she just has to complete a small little competition around the time of the veto ceremony.
Here, I'm just need to step away for 1 second, Taran.
All right.
Yeah, and then the only other two powers I was thinking about talking about were not related to the HOH competition, but the Jimmy versus Zach power, like those two also seem so inequitable at this point, that Zach has this ability to bribe or take himself off the block for $10,000 versus Jimmy getting to pick players for an HOH competition. I feel like that's kind of inequitable. But I was kind of curious to get your thoughts. I guess that's just like part of Big Brother, though, is that like the powers that get released are just sometimes like.
Yeah, I mean, it is just kind of the way things go, from like the care packages to last season, Quinn's power versus Mackenzie's. Like, they just tend to not be equal in any particular way. And, you know, maybe that's their way of like, well, we like this player more, and so we'll give them this power. But, you know, granted, I think this HOH competition felt like a much more random.
And we don't have any evidence that they love Mickey.
Certainly not.
They don't put her in the episode ever.
Yeah,
and
they were talking about that. Mickey's never in the DR.
Yeah. And do these powers have any cool names or anything to do with the theming of the season?
Not that we know of. I don't know that names have been discussed. They might, but I don't think they've said them out loud. Okay.
All right.
The last thing I just wanted to say before I go is that I'm really excited because Ava is reminding me a little bit of a house guest from Long Gone who I've been wanting to come back. She's giving like younger Rennie vibes to me a little bit.
Young Rennie.
And just kind of her demeanor, I feel like she's really opened up. I'm really excited to see how her journey progresses over the season, and I'm looking out for her. I'm wondering if she's going to be like a Rennie for us. So I'm crossing my fingers because I've always wanted Rennie back.
I mean, at this point, Rennie'd already gotten into like 3 different screaming matches. So.
Yeah,
just a slow release.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Amanda, always great to talk. Okay.
Yeah,
all right, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All right. Let's go and say hello now to let's say hello to Laura. Laura, how are you?
I'm great. R-Bone and T-Bone.
Oh, you brought it back. Yes. Yes, L bone. The
Yeah,
L bone is
thank you.
connected to the knee bone.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm great. I am loving this season so far. It's a lot of fun. It's great to have you back on the podcast, Rob. It feels real now that the season has started, and I'm really excited for your book, Taran. I've pre-ordered it.
Thank
Excited for
you.
it to come out.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
All right.
Yeah.
So Laura, what's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a quick thing about the eviction last night, sort of how I'm feeling about it, and get y'all's opinions as well. And then I have a quick question. So going into last night's eviction, I really wanted Kelly to go because I felt like it would have just been really nice karmic justice for the first evictee this season to be somebody who nominated themselves essentially on their
Yes.
best friend's HOH, which is crazy. But then when she won the blockbuster and it was looking like Zay, I actually thought that would be the better outcome because we're going to get such good content for the slop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Zay, seems like that he had like upside to be like a big character, but he just really wasn't bringing it. He seemed like just very nervous throughout the whole thing. Taran, Taran and I interviewed Zay. I thought Zay seemed super nervous even in the exit interview this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just kind of has a bit of a nervous energy to him. I think, it's also he's the first boot. I'm sure he had much bigger expectations. And he's been on the block for pretty much the entire time we've seen him. So we've never really gotten to see Zay be able to chill. So, maybe, but the problem is that maybe a chill Zay would have been even less entertaining. I think that he did want to play a game that was very focused and steady and probably working with the bros and winning comps. And what we saw from him was perhaps Zay at his most amped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I've seen people saying that we're losing a good rivalry between him and Rachel, and I just can't help but feel like Rachel will find other
find a new one. You said it yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry about Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just reloads.
Exactly. So then, yeah, my question, Taran, I thought you did a really good job on the update this morning, explaining the potential nominations and renominations. I was very confused about all of that, so you cleared that up. So my question's not about that. It's kind of about following up on last week with Vince and Kelly and their weird dynamics, and how it feels like, behind Kelly's back, Vince is saying all these things about her. And, I saw that he had told Morgan that he really wanted her to be the one evicted, Kelly to be the
giving
one
girl, she's just not that into you.
Exactly.
He's just not that into you.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, what are the odds of that kind of blowing up and how that could affect Vince's game if, say, Kelly pulls herself off and somebody wants to, stir the pot?
With Kelly specifically, I feel like it's fairly unlikely that any information she receives will impact how she feels, because she, I think, is the kind of player that basically nothing anybody says that isn't named Vince matters to her. And she's the kind of person that like the whole house could go to her and be like, listen, Vince hates you. And she'd be like, oh my God, really? And then afterward run to Vince and be like, can you believe these idiots trying to convince me that you hate me? And he'd be like, yeah,
actually
totally.
Number two.
Yeah, he is the Leah to her Quinn, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and it could be she might think it's good. She's like, oh, well, and we're really hiding our alliance very well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it'll still be fun.
All right. Well, Laura, thank you so much for the call, okay?
Thank you.
All right,
Have a great
take
day.
care. Bye. Okay, let's welcome in the great Ryan Irwin is here. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great. Let me turn off my AC.
Okay.
It's a really loud machine and it's really hot, so I just wanted to turn it off.
Yeah, where are you these days? Back in Brooklyn?
I'm back in New York, yeah, but I had to rep my Utah hat, even though he was the first boot. I have to rep my Utahns.
Okay, repping Zay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Will you get any Zay merch when it comes out?
Maybe. I don't know if they're going to be Iz merch. The merch I want to see is Ava merch saying, people say I have herpes. That's the merch I want.
Did she say that?
she said that to Will in a conversation making fun of Kelly. So I need that merch. But I have two
But
things.
if where should they say people say it? It's like you're also kind of saying you don't. It's not actually true.
Yeah, but it was because Kelly was saying like, people are saying I'm gonna throw the blockbuster, and he was like, why? People say I have herpes. Like, I love it. It was so funny.
All right, so Ryan, what's going
on? One, I was listening to your update earlier, Taran, about Will's vote and how that might really hurt his game, flipping it at last night. And I just want to know if has there been any update on the feeds today about where he stands on that? Are people mad at him, or what do we think?
No change for Will yet. No, he hasn't been super active. The main thing I'm looking out for Will is like what kinds of conversations is he going to have with people like Mickey. Certainly, I'm sure he's going to talk to Jimmy, and then also Ava. Like what is his explanation? And do they feel like they can work their way back in with him and vice versa? The real danger is, because I think he should have plenty of time. The danger is with all these veto powers. He could find himself on the block, and that would not be a great place.
Yeah, and it would, because then he could be a perpetual pawn. That was what I was worried about him. My other thing is, I want to talk about Vince for a second. Somehow he has played a really good social game, but really poorly strategically, and it doesn't make sense to me how that can be. Have we seen someone like Vince who's like seemingly made the wrong decision over and over again, yet it somehow is like inexplicably safe and well insulated?
I mean, I've mentioned it before, but genuinely, like, Frenchie is, I think, a great comparison in terms of how actually unlikely it was for Frenchie to have been targeted week 2. It just kind of it took a bit of an effort, and he was still in a pretty decent spot. And then things just collapsed in week 2, especially because of Tiffany, who knew exactly where she needed to strike with Frenchie. But I think it's such a great example of how powerful the first HOH position can be. And in fact, there were people talking about it this morning, like, oh, it's weird to see Vince like he's a normal person, like downstairs with everyone. And it'll take a little bit for the perception, that initial perception of Vince as the first HOH to wear off. And that's when I think we'll really start to see like his social game outside of the advantaged position of first HOH.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must be weird. Of it's like, okay, this person, you can't touch them, and now it's like, oh wait, he's mortal.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how his game goes forward, because it felt like every decision he made was like the wrong one, yet somehow everyone's like, I feel good with Vince. So
I mean, what I will credit him for toward the end of especially, I mentioned it today on the update, yesterday before the eviction, he did like recognize like, I need to accept the loss and act like I'm on Amy's team. I think that while the instincts that he seems to have, I don't agree with most of the time, I think that was the good one. One podcast we did years ago was about first HOHs, and one of the biggest signs for, is this first HOH going to have a successful run in the game or an unsuccessful one, is, did they get their target out? Were they on the right side of that first vote? And Vince was not, but he did his best to pretend that he was. And so it'll be interesting to see how that works for him.
Yeah. So fascinating. It's a great season. Loving it. Loving all your updates. You're awesome.
Okay. Ryan, thank you so much. Okay. All right. Bye. All right. We've got Nikki is back with us. Nikki, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. What
a tease it was that we had you and then you slipped through our fingers.
What do you mean, last season?
You dropped off. It was such a tease.
On the call.
Yeah. Oh, I was. Yeah, my computer blue screened.
Oh, okay. The BSOD.
So, yeah, it's completely blue screened, and then when I came back, I just had to restart it. Luckily, restarting it fixed it. But
yeah, Nikki, what's been going on?
Yeah, so I'm back in the Big Brother grind. I'm like last season, I had too much going on outside of it, and then time zone wise, it's just hard to keep up sometimes. But this season, I have more time. I'm more settled in my job, so I'm very excited. And I've been loving the first week of feed, so I'm very excited to be watching again.
Good. Well, we're excited to have you back. What's going on?
Yeah, so my question is mostly also about the powers, but differently. Like all these powers, at least the ones we know about, last until jury. We don't know Keanu or Kelly's, like if they have a time frame. I assume it's the same, but we'll find out at some point. Which makes me worried, especially with the jury of 7. I love the jury of 7, but now I'm like, no, please give me a jury of 9. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, given the power works for so long, it would feel even more overpowered if it went all the way until final 9 from final 16.
Yeah.
Like,
17 for Zach.
Yeah. Did they do a jury of 7 last season?
Yeah, I believe they did.
Last 2 seasons, it was a jury of 7?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so. I do generally prefer that, but and like, you know, I wouldn't want to not have a jury of 7 just because of this power, but like you just do the regular, like it's good for 4 weeks. I don't know why they had to go all the way to jury with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'd be good for Zex would be good for 8 weeks. And like when it was just Zex, I was annoyed about it, and I was like, it's fine, I still want my jury of 7. But now that Nikki's power is also here, and it's also such a powerful power, and like having that
could definitely be a sign that we're looking at a 9-person jury, given that they passed out these powers so early, and they're good until jury.
Yeah. What do you like, Taran? 9 or 7?
I prefer 7.
Yeah.
Each
like
individual.
Indy is on the jury. What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it allows for each individual vote to have a little more power, which I think generally allows for people to feel a little more comfortable voting how they want versus like just voting in a block. It does make it feel a little more like special that these are the people that made the jury. So yeah, I generally like the 7-person.
Okay. All right, Nikki, anything else going on?
Yeah, I also like that it makes it feel special. Also, a reason why I think it's 9, I think with these powers, they can't do any doubles pre-jury. That just wouldn't make sense to have these powers in play in like a double or something. And I think we need like 3 people to leave, or we need to do a triple, but we need like 3 doubles or something with the days, and otherwise those would basically we would have 3 double
no triple
in a row. So my guess is it's a jury of 9, but I was truly expecting a jury of 7 until like all these powers came into play, and I'm like, I don't see how they will be able to do it. Yeah, I think that was my only question. One more off-topic question. I got into the NFL, Rob, so I finally get any time to talk about the Jets, and I'm like, I personally don't support, but I do understand your pain now.
Yes. Okay. Why? Who's your team, Nikki?
I got into it because of Taylor Swift, so I went with the Chiefs. So
okay, got it.
Maybe I'll change my mind, but I only like last season was the first full season I really got into it. So while Travis is still playing, I'll keep supporting it, but I might just pick a favorite player and then follow those players around. I'm not sure yet.
All right. Well, Nikki, thank you so much. Okay. All right. Bye. All right. Let's say hello to Catherine is here. Catherine, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing well.
Better than last week, Catherine?
Definitely. Although I wasn't better until Tuesday, so it was a long stretch.
What did you get? A positive prognosis on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Or you feel better on Tuesday?
No, I just started to feel better. It just
good.
Really, really took me down. So, and then worst case scenario, Flash Gordon, who has intestinal bowel disease, IBD.
Oh.
That kicked in because it's stress related. And so he was stressed because I was stressed, and different people took care of him. So
yeah, but he's back with you?
Unfortunately, he was back with me. He was waking me up at 3 a.m. I had zero energy. He needed to go to the vet. I couldn't take it. So it was, but we're all good.
Okay, good. You seem a lot better from last week.
Yeah. No, okay. I'm definitely better.
Was it the live feeds, would you say, that maybe cured you?
Oh, absolutely. No question about it.
Was it hearing Taran's voice that's the best medicine?
Yes, absolutely. There's no question. I mean, honestly, the
doctor says, take a Taran every morning.
Right. The only reason I watch Big Brother is to listen to Taran at 11 o'clock in the morning. Seriously. So it's the best part of the day. Come on.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So
the best part of waking up is Taran in your cup.
No. It's a lot of fun. And I've already pre-ordered the book. the Kindle version, because I can only read on the Kindle. But anyway, but I've already pre-ordered, so I'm all set.
Thank you.
I'm all set with the
Would
book.
you sign Catherine's Kindle with a
Yeah,
Sharpie,
so that was
Taryn?
what I was going to say. How exactly does that work? Can we do a digital signature on the Kindle? We have to work on this, okay? Just saying. Just saying.
Maybe maybe if you bring the Kindle to a live event.
Yeah, I could bring it. I can bring it in October to the New York event.
Okay.
So my question is, I was unfortunately a little bit distracted this morning or actually it was this afternoon when you were doing the recap. So I was wondering what the feedback on Vince is. How is he doing post HOH? Has he reflected on any of the errors of his ways, possibly, or?
I would say that like what we've seen of Vince so far, and which is not a lot because we really haven't had that
Right,
much
that's
feeds.
true.
Is like it's I think what you would expect, which is that he's still kind of running around trying to like keep all of his plates spinning in the air. So like he's running to Keanu and Kelly and being like, "Oh man, guys, what are we doing?" But then also going to Jimmy and being like, "Yeah, so yeah, Keanu and Kelly, totally chill." Just trying to not get caught up in anything that's going to get him in trouble. And you know, luckily for him, Jimmy was a pretty close ally last week. They did start to diverge at the end of the week, but Jimmy feels solidly enough with Vince, and Vince is offering no objection to Kelly or Keanu nominations that it's not too much of a problem. It's not impossible that things start to go sour if a bunch of vetoes start getting used, but he should be good for the week.
But because I just keep wondering if he's really, really thought about a lot of his moves from last week. That's all. And maybe it's too soon to know that. But anyway.
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, there's no reason for him to say that he thinks the week went wrong because he's trying to act like he wanted Amy to stay the whole time. Basically.
Oh, okay. So that's good. That he wanted her to stay the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he meant to do that.
He meant to do that.
That was on purpose. That was all part of my plan.
Yeah. Yes, it was all part of his plan. Yes, I see that. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, and have a great trip, Rob. And if you can, get to Versailles because Nicole.
Yeah. Okay. So, this week just coming up. So I'm going to be.
I know you're going.
I'm road tripping to New York, and I'll be on the podcast this week.
Okay,
and then the next week is when we're going to Paris.
I know she's a huge Bridgerton fan, and so Versailles is the real.
Oh, is that
deal.
why it is? Yeah, we have a tour scheduled.
You do. Oh,
yeah.
It's mind blowing. I saw it when I was 18 and have never, ever, ever forgotten it from the time I was 18. So yeah.
Okay. We'll check it out. All right. Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. We have the number one Ava stan here, Taryn. Okay. This is very exciting. Okay. The number one Ava stan is here, and it's Jacob.
Yes. Aviators, rise up.
The Aviators, rise up. Now, Jacob, are you related to Ava?
No, not at all. I'm no hidden twin or triplet, although I am a fellow DC homosexual consultant like Jimmy. So maybe there's something there.
Okay. Now you
AI
are
consultant?
Yeah.
No.
You are. Go ahead.
I doubt his. I don't know his proficiency in AI, but that reads to me as someone who just sells AI to companies.
Okay. He didn't sell it to Derek, did he?
Oh, and with those pictures? No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. All right. So, Jacob, what's going on?
I'm doing great. I'm having the summer of my life. This is a really good season.
Wow. The summer of your life?
No, that's an exaggeration.
Yeah.
It's just a really good season. This first week has kicked off to a lot of fun. I like to say that I watched the show first for the commentary, second for the live feeds, and distantly at the third for the TV show itself.
Okay.
So props to you all so far. It's been a really fun series to follow along.
Yeah. All right. So what's going on, Jacob?
Well, with regards to that, my question is about the feeds and how they're going so far. I'm team fun feeds. I'm team people having a good time, making jokes, messing with each other, which is part of why I'm like an Ava fan and a Jimmy fan, because they're doing a lot on screen. But I've seen a lot of commentary online about people like hamming it up for the cameras. There's been a lot of prepared speeches so far. What are our thoughts on that with regards to like authenticity?
Is there a lot of talk of people hamming it up, Taran?
I mean, yeah, even in the house. I mean, that's part of Keanu's comeback was like, how long did it take you to prepare for that speech, Jimmy? When Rachel did her, if you be careful coming for the queen, you're gonna get beheaded. They immediately like, oh, there's her TV moment. And talk of TV moments is certainly prevalent.
Oh, God forbid people are trying to make good TV.
Right. That's kind of the thing. It's like at the end of the day, these things that they're doing, they're not fake. Like when Jimmy is calling out Keanu, he's doing so because he's genuinely annoyed at Keanu and wants to target him. He's just prepping a speech, which is exactly what Angela did last season, although there were some complaints about Angela also. But it's not like this is, unheard of. I mean, Dr. Will, back in season 2, one of the most infamous preppers. He prepped his speech in All Stars. He preps every diary room.
Do you know how much material he prepped on that podcast I did with him in January?
Yeah.
This whole thing might have been scripted.
Like this has always been part of the show. And I agree with Rob. I mean, I think that if you're trying to make good TV, that's better than somebody who's not trying to make good TV. And again, like, it's not as though they're making things up whole cloth. It's not like Jimmy is faking a feud with Keanu for the sake of television. It's that he was really annoyed and then channeled that into something that he thought would be entertaining.
At what point does it help or hurt their gameplay, though? Like, I feel like Jimmy is specifically bonding with Rachel because they both care about how they come across on TV, and otherwise they might not be an ally to each other. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, Jimmy is putting himself like at the forefront of people's minds by being so obviously a camera hog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the thing about like making drama is that it's just another tool that you can use. It can be used poorly, it can be used well, it can be used thoughtlessly, and it can be used thoughtfully. And so when somebody like Dan Giesling does a big performance in season 10 or season 14, he's doing so very intentionally with a specific purpose in mind, with a strategic goal. When Rachel Riley does it in seasons 12 and 13, she's just doing it because she's Rachel Riley, and sometimes it hurts her, like in season 12, and sometimes it also hurts her in season 13, but it didn't matter because she won enough competitions and the season was rigged. But like, there can be value to it. And I think that we've seen people use it to good effect. Godfrey in season 2 of Big Brother, season 3 of Big Brother Canada, making a big speech. I want your blood on these hands. I think that Jimmy's speech here was not super strategic as much as it was just to make a big moment, but I do think it helped him a little bit in the same way that Rachel's argument with Zay helped her a little bit to take him out, because there was an unintentional side effect of then linking him with Keanu. And so sometimes it's done purposely, sometimes it's not, but there can be positives and there certainly can be negatives to these kinds of situations. It's all just a matter of like, what do you actually end up getting out of it?
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Jacob, thank you so much to you and all the aviators. Hope it's a great weekend. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great week for the girls and the gays this week. So.
Okay. All right. Take care. Bye. All right. Taran, I'm going to introduce you to somebody who is going to be maybe blow your mind with some theories. We'll see. Okay. He knows who it is. He's reacting already. It's Vincent.
Hi, Rob. Vincent. How's it going? Hi, Taran.
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. This is an excellent start to the season, so I couldn't be in better spirits.
Yes. Okay. Here he is. That hot take mother Vincent is here.
Speaking of hot take, I have one right off the bat.
Okay, let's go.
I think that Riley's playing excellent, if not the best, social game. And you hate to hear it. Yeah,
we might hate to hear it. I don't know if that's a scorching hot take. What do you think, Taran?
Is he playing the best social game? That's maybe a hot take. I don't think he's playing a bad social game. I think that he is doing pretty well socially.
I think we all started on this season very low on Riley for multiple reasons and perhaps even some allegations, but he's doing well in the house. And I think that he has really high end zone side. So I can
listen, he got those babies somehow, you know?
Yeah. He is a guy who he could be like, you know, a 9 or 10 socially and a 0 strategically.
I absolutely would concur.
I mean, he was on the right side of the vote somehow, but it's debatable of like what his motive was. If it wasn't just that the girl I like is going this way, so I'm going this way too.
Which I don't even think is a liability for his game, oddly enough, if he's like so attached to Kat that she controls his vote, because I feel like if we know where Kat is, we know where he is. And therefore he's a predictable sort of number.
Yeah. Okay. So he's doing a great job socially. Not too hot of a take, Vincent.
Wow. I also have a question because I saw Zay's exit interview.
Yes.
Zay's talked in his exit interview about how in one of his exit interviews, he wished he started campaigning sooner because he felt like some people already had their votes locked in. And I'm wondering, like, what is the order of operations when it comes to being nominated? Like, do you go to the HOH first? Do you go to the swing votes first? Do you go to people in your alliance first? Like, what is the order of operations when it comes to campaigning yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if we ever talked about this. Taran, how do you mount a campaign to stay?
I think the problem is that there's not really a one size fits all here. Like, it's so dependent on who the HOH is, who your votes are, why you were nominated, are you the target, who are you up against? And so, like, I think in an ideal world, yeah, you go up to the HOH and you sort of diffuse them. If they were worried that you'd be mad, you try to do your best to convince them that you're not. And if you can get them on board to be willing to keep you, that opens up the door for a replacement nominee situation that might be useful for you. If they have numbers, which they should, if they're a good HOH, that they would have their numbers before they made their nominations, then they might have some influence over those numbers. So getting them on board is going to be big. You as an individual are fairly unlikely to be able to turn the HOH around immediately, though, because they just made a decision to nominate you. So, you know, you might need to try to, like, if you are close with people who are close with the HOH, maybe get a sense of like, what happened? Why am I up there? Can you put in a good word for me? That kind of stuff. If you were nominated by somebody who hates your guts and you hate theirs, then there's not really much point to going up to the HOH. And instead, you might want to be going to like shore up the numbers that you have. Yeah. Okay, he just put me up on the block, but does that mean I'm dead in the water, or do I actually have a chance to stay based on the votes? Like, you know, I think it's so dependent on like the circumstances.
And the week changes, right? So, you know, you go on the block on Friday, and so there's going to be nominees today. And so I think that, you know, your first order of operations is, how do I best play this so that I may come off of the block? And whether that's, you know, the HOH using the veto on me, or other people in the House potentially using the veto on me, that's like phase one. But if you are then still on the block as we get into Monday and the veto meeting, now the question becomes like, everybody in the House starts to ask the question of, is it better or worse for me if this person stays? So it's almost like that if you seem like you are in a weaker position in the House, I almost feel like that people are more likely to keep you. And then as the week goes on, people sort of like take stock, and it's like, actually, this is a good player. He has a lot of allies. And I think that's kind of like what turned against Zay, where I think that maybe earlier in the week, people weren't like that threatened by him. But then as they sort of like took stock of like, well, hold on, like maybe he's smarter. He's good in the challenges. He's got a bunch of guys with him. Maybe this is the shot to take out Zay. So it's sort of like, if you want to, like, maybe earlier in the week, like really look like you don't have that such a great position in the House, so that people are like, he's harmless, let's go after the other person.
Yeah, I mean, famously, Dan Giesling, the week of the funeral, you know, initially just bleeds allies. They're all willing to vote him out. It helps lower his threat level. He loses the veto competition. It's then that position that he's able to go to Frank and pull his Hail Mary.
And typically, like when somebody ends up staying, it has probably like little to do with their own actions and just how there was a change in the house's perception of that person. Like, I'm old enough to remember in BB16 when Zach was like sleeping and the house like flipped to save him.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate.
All right. Talk to you soon, Vince. Okay. All right. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Okay. Let's go to, Adam is here. Adam, how are you?
I'm doing good. Loving the season so far.
Yes.
My favorite part about being a teacher is that I get to watch Big Brother all summer. Well, most of the summer until the school year starts. But it is what it is.
Is teacher the #1 job for Big Brother fans, Taran?
Maybe. I mean, it's certainly conducive, right?
Yeah.
It just works out too perfectly.
Too perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the teachers in the chat. Okay. All right. Adam, what's going on?
Not much. I mean, other than Big Brother, not much. Planning a wedding, which means I won't get to. I was really excited when I saw Vince this season because I can tell that Big Brother is really going for their mustachioed men in their 30s archetype.
Yes.
But if my wedding is going to cross over with next season or the next season, I probably shouldn't do that.
So you are choosing to plan a wedding during Big Brother season?
It would be like our wedding date is September 26th of next year.
Okay.
So it would be
it might be like right
either
after the finale.
or God forbid the day.
If you make it on the
before
show,
finale.
maybe you get out and then can get to your wedding still.
Right.
Or you win and then fly to your wedding the next day.
And that's what I was pitching is I said, like, look, if I win, I will personally pay for everybody to go to a different wedding venue and we'll do it.
Adam, what day of the week is your wedding?
It's a Saturday.
I kind of feel like they end the season on a Sunday now.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that Sunday the 27th might be looking like the finale.
Yeah, I really do wish, like, for what they call, like, the summer event or, like, the hit show of the summer, they start it so late in the summer.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the seasons have been getting, like, or, like, they've been ending earlier and earlier. But, like, when we had, like, season 25 ending in November, just not okay.
Yeah. Okay.
One quick question and a strategic question. Taran, I haven't seen your walking treadmill in a while. I just got a standing desk. I'm just kind of curious about your review now that you've had it for a while.
I mean, I love the treadmill. I was using it in the off season. It's mostly just like just first week of the show, and the feeds have take it easy. But I do still have it. It's right under my desk. I had to get it replaced though because it was not
wore it
functioning
out
properly. And this one is already like the first like minute that it turns on, it squeals and then it quiets down. So yeah, like maintenance is annoying. And I'm trying to potentially, I would love to get like a manual treadmill that you don't even have to like turn on. That would hopefully be a little easier to maintain as well. But those are super expensive. So
I never even heard of that. I would think it would be very cheap, a manual treadmill.
You would think. Yeah, you'd think.
Just get a hamster wheel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So I've been thinking a lot about Kelly, and I'm gonna a little bit come to her defense in a way. Like, I know that she completely like destroyed her game by volunteering for the block. That's obviously a no-no. But I've been thinking about her like way of trying to like damage control after she was nominated, and saying that she was like claiming that she was going to throw the BB blockbuster in order to give that speech against Amy, to say like, hey, I threw this speech or I threw this comp to Zay because we need to get Rachel's #1 target out. And sure, obviously she should never have been in this position to begin with. But when you are in that position, is that, I mean, not throwing the blockbuster, like lie about throwing the blockbuster, but if you're in that position, is there any world where that could save you?
I mean, maybe the world where you're not Kelly because nobody takes her seriously is kind of the problem, right? Like, And part of the problem is that making that argument kind of makes nobody take you seriously, because they're like, what do you mean you're going to throw the blockbuster? Like, I'm sorry, I want to limit Rachel's power as much as the next person, but that's ridiculous. You're not Tucker. And when Tucker did it, it was also ridiculous. So I would say it's like many things that she's done, probably a bit too cute here in the house.
Yeah, that's ultimately, I do think it depends on the social standing of everybody. So either she was gonna be safe anyway, or she was gonna go home anyway. But I would just like for one time to have an eviction speech matter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Adam, thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you both.
All right. Bye. All right. Taran, I'm going to introduce you to somebody else who's here, who is a regular on the Q&A. It's Mel Hooker. Okay. You never seen this person before, right, Taran?
I recognize the name.
The name. You've heard the name, of course, the legend.
Of course.
Mel, where are you today?
I'm at the lake.
Oh, nice. Is your dad there?
No, thank God.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know where he is, but my mom's here. She's having a nap and Ryan's in the water, and you guys caught me off guard. I was like all ready for like 3 p.m. and then I went to go put my notification on and I was like, oh wow, I forgot I have number dyslexia.
Well, it's what, 2:55 right now, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I'm usually like early and I was late and I get anxious when I'm late.
You're good. Okay. So Mel, it's beautiful where you are.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's the weather report, 80 degrees, slightly breezy. Water, 80, 74,
Okay.
Probably better than Big Brother House. Anyways, I have questions. Taran, hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Do you use pros on your hair? Because those curls are beautiful. I don't know if anybody's told you that in general lately.
I've been getting some compliments, which I very much appreciate. It was a bit of a journey to grow it out to where it is now. I'm not super used to wearing it down instead of like up in the front, and I'm liking it right now. I actually don't use much product on it. I was when it was longer because it was really out of control, but I actually haven't been now. It just kind of it's just like really curly, and so. Sometimes I get lucky and it just works out well, and sometimes I don't. Because quite frankly, here's the real thing: is that the more I try to make it look good, the worse it gets. Because I'm not good at it, so I just kind of have to hope it falls into the right place.
Look at this, baby boy Bryce Isaiah says, "We love the curls, Taran."
Bryce is here. Hi, Bryce. I love
Bryce. Quoted in my book.
I can't wait. So yeah, I'm newer to the Big Brother. Last year was my first live watch. And basically I'm in with a silly question about alliance names. So do you guys think that the name, it's a two-parter. Do you think that the name of an alliance has an impact on how well it does in the game? Like if the name is like dumb, it's doomed to fail. And if the name is not dumb, is it gonna work? Because like the big ones that I hear is like the Cookout, which is a cool name. And I never saw that, so like yeah, that's the first part. And then
does the quality of the name impact the alliance?
Yeah.
Taran?
I think that in a vacuum, no. When you have like the pretty boys dominating Big Brother Canada 7, it's like we were all clowning on that name. But I think the reality is it's less about the objective quality of the name and more about the subjective quality of the name. Do the people in the alliance think it's a cool name? Because if they do, I think it does mean that they're more likely to succeed because they're all a little bit more excited about the alliance that they're in.
I'll also say that if the alliance has a cool name, maybe it speaks more to the creativity and sort of like the brain power of the people in the alliance to come up with a name. If the alliance name sucks, it might be because the people in it aren't super smart.
Is there a correlation between alliance naming capabilities and Big Brother skill?
I mean, you would think yes, because, you know, to have a good name, you have to be a bit smart. I'm just
Well,
waiting.
what are the best alliances, Taran?
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Like, what are your like top 3 best alliance like names and the alliance, and then like your top 3 worst alliance names? And
I mean, I think Chilltown is a classic. You know, it's just it's going to be hard to beat that. I think what else is a really good one?
Renegades is a cool name.
Renegades is definitely cool, but like I feel like once you've already nailed like the 2 bro alliance, I think Chilltown just kind of beats that category.
Yeah.
Cookout is great. I am actually kind of partial to the detonators as like the you know, advanced version of the bomb squad. I thought that was kind of clever.
Great. Well, thank you, Taran.
Oh, sorry, worst one?
Yeah.
The diaper alliance. The diaper alliance? It's diaper something.
Was
Diaper
Baby
the Canada
Andy
3.
there for that one?
Falte, yeah.
Falte, actually, I'd put in one of the best alliance names.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Taran. It was wonderful to meet you. Rob, are you going to be gone next Friday too?
No, I'll be on next Friday.
Okay, cool.
I missed one Friday. I missed the Friday, Friday the 1st.
Friday the 1st. Cool. Might call you from the party bus to the Luigi's Justin throwing the first baseball out at the Rocks game in Brockton.
Okay. All right. You're taking a bus there?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Luigi's.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
His mom wrote me into this thing. It's gonna happen. We'll see what goes on.
All right,
I'll
looks
report
fun.
back.
Okay. Take care.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye,
Take
Mel.
care.
Okay. All right. Let's talk to. We got the assassin is here. Okay.
Hello,
the assassin,
guys.
AK. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing this evening?
Yeah, doing great. What's going on?
A lot going on. I'm enjoying this season. It's very, very good.
Now you
so
said
far.
evening. Where are you?
It's 3:00 for me. I'm in New York, so.
Oh, okay.
It's the
early.
early.
You know, yeah. TGIF, as Derek would say. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what's going on?
Just like Jimmy, I would rehearse my interaction all day, you know, so I'm ready.
We love it.
I have a question about Rachel's path specifically. To like get to the end. It's like, how can she win this game? And I'm going over it. I don't feel like Ellie needs to be in the jury. That's like a big thing for me. Like, she cannot be there. She is such a poison in her Rachel winning. There's a lot of people I don't think would be good for her in the jury. I feel like she needs more women in there for her. And the other thing is she only can win against Amy or something like that? Because I'm trying to figure out how does she actually win the whole entire prize here.
Yeah, it's tricky. I think that this is something that we mentioned at the start of the season, that like for vets to win the game, it's seemingly very important that there are other vets on the jury. Historically, vets trying to win with a jury of new players has not worked out very well. And even the spots where like like maybe you certainly say like Jesse probably could have won 11 if he had made it to the end, but he was so far away, who really knows? But at least like during that season, he had a solid group of people that would have voted for him. But even then, he had a lot of really adamant haters who were mad that he was there. So I do think that that's going to be difficult. And so trying to, bring a player like Amy, who doesn't have a lot of respect in the house right now, would be good. I think that like, a player like Zach is way more likely to be a Rachel supporter over a player like Amy. And so actually bringing Zach to the jury, or I mean, really at this point, not that you have a choice, but getting Zach to the jury, probably a good thing. Although the thing about players like Zach is that they sometimes are also the most bitter players because they feel like this was my game. I feel entitled to have won this one. And the fact that you got me out is going to make me even more upset. And so maybe that's not even the play. In terms of like the women, many of the women have said, we don't want Rachel to win the game because she's already won it and she's already played and it's our time. So you know, I don't think there's an easy path. I don't think there's like a solid plan that you can make yet. I think that you just have to continue to develop relationships and just take out people that aren't your fans, and then hope that once you get to the jury phase, you can start to make something else work.
Do you think she has to comp out like she did in season 13, like win a lot of comps and get some more like win equity? Because I feel like a lot of people might respect that as, oh, like we try to get her out and she just kept winning and like she's here now. So what do we do with that?
Yeah, winning comps is the best jury management you can do. I say it a lot. It's not going to guarantee you a win. Taylor proved that, but yeah, if she starts to dominate competition wins, I think that overpowers a lot of other things.
Right. And one more thing about Rachel, winning the whole entire game is I'm torn with Jimmy in the jury for her. Like right now, we've seen that Rachel kind of flipped him to her side, but we do know Jimmy wasn't a big fan of her in the beginning. So how do we feel like Jimmy will feel if she's still around in that phase?
I think Jimmy would be good for her in the jury. I think that Jimmy wants to make good TV, and I think the bottom line is that like he, despite an initial idea of wanting to target her and being frustrated that she was there, like has fallen victim to the fact that he just really likes her. They just get along really well. They really enjoy hanging out with each other. And so, especially if he goes out as her ally, as opposed to her betraying him, I think that he could be a voice for her on the jury. But he is also still one of those people that's like, well, we're not going to let her win. And obviously, like something that you might say to that is like, well, of course they're going to say that, right? It's part of the game. They're going to say, well, let's not let Rachel win because it's part of how they're playing. But even just the fact that they're saying it puts it out into the universe and makes it much more difficult for her to actually win if it comes down to it.
For sure.
Okay.
And also, just one more thing, just real quick. On the live feeds, we saw that even Mickey and even Ashley, to an extent, are talking about Rachel, getting to the jury, but not necessarily. They don't want her to win either. So she kind of has a little bit of thorns in her side back there. But yeah, that's all I have. And thank you guys for listening to me spiel. I'm so happy that I got to do this. I love you guys. Watch you guys all the time on the pod. And it was fun.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Take care. Bye. Okay. Let's say hello to Michael Horn is here. Michael.
Rob,
how are you?
You both look mother today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What was that word that Adrian said?
Oh, I'm not even going to try to say that.
It was no, man.
Taran, despite your chat saying that's a normal word, that is not a normal word to me.
I never heard that in my life.
The people were like, pronounce it right. It's a K sound, not a CH sound.
Yeah.
Which I did do at the end of the podcast, but I guess they didn't hear that one.
Well, let me first address your lovely patrons for just a second.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, patrons, viewers, close your eyes for just a second and think about how confused and lost you all would be for the past week, if not for the lovely Taran Armstrong. And then think about how much you appreciate Taran and go pre-order Behind the Mirror. Go pre-order his book. He's done so much for us, and we can do the very least we can do is support him. So just starting off with that very quickly. Taran.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And genuinely, like, I hope they just enjoy it, like I hope it provides some value,
Absolutely. I can't wait to read it. I am very, very excited. I'm not as big of a reader as I should be, but books like this, I will absolutely read every single word of. So
thank you.
Two very quick questions. First, Taran, when should you be willing to vote against the majority for your friend if you don't believe necessarily that it's going to matter? Is there a point where you don't want to seem disloyal and like a disloyal player? So obviously, that person will be leaving the house, if, especially before the jury. But do you think that there's a point where that trumps being in the majority and being potentially a target, just an easy nominee just because you were against the majority?
Yeah, I think this is a great question because I think it's particularly relevant to where we are right now, especially with Adrian, and how that relates to like the classic Dan Giesling move in season 10, which was he was the sole vote to keep Brian in a house that was united against Brian. It's actually, I wrote about that in my book. And so I think that like a key to this is that a lot of people will look at what Dan did and say, oh, well, if I stick to my word and I vote for my friend to stay, then I can, trade on that perception of loyalty. But there are some key elements to it, I think, that are maybe overlooked in that sense. And we talked about this morning, but like in Dan's case, Brian lost all of his allies and was leaving the game. And so Dan being loyal to Brian was completely non-threatening to anybody else in the house because Brian is now gone. Dan's loyalty is now to nothing. Whereas in a spot like this with somebody like Adrian is like, I gave Kelly my word. I gave Zay my word, and I can't go back on my word. These are the people I'm loyal to. And that's just the way things are. Sorry, don't even campaign to me. And this is bad for a couple of reasons. One is that he's now not included in the conversations that the majority is having in the first week about building their coalitions and who can we rely on. He's being left out of all of those conversations. In addition, even with Zay leaving, there are still 4 other people who voted that way, which means that, this isn't like, oh, Adrian's harmless because the people he was loyal to are gone. No, Adrian voted with a bunch of other people. So that's still threatening. And one of those people that he made the promise to, Kelly, still in the house, still here. So he's not defanged in any capacity. The thing with Dan was he was saying, the loyalty I gave to Brian, I can now give to you because Brian's gone. Adrian can't say that because Kelly's still there and the people he voted with are still there. So I think that's a very important part of this. Once that person leaves, if you are in the minority, where does that put you? Where do you stand with the rest of the house? Because if you're a part of a duo and your person's on the block and it's basically a unanimous vote, then yeah, you can probably cast that vote and say, sorry, it was just out of loyalty. But now that they're gone, I'm open. But if it is kind of like a slightly more lopsided vote and you're just one of those people, I think that what I will say also is that even if you do something like that, you still want to be involved in the conversations. Don't be like, this is just the way it is, and I'm going to like bow out of these conversations. I think that you still want to be involved in the process and continue to develop relationships outside of the one that you have in that spot. So I think like with those fundamentals, you can sort of navigate, how do I want to approach this particular situation?
All right, perfect. Well, Derek's telling me to wrap up, so I will save my second question for next week, but love you both.
I went too long, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Michael. Okay. All right, bye. All right. Jenny is here. Jenny, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on, Jenny?
Not much. Just got back from walking the dog. I had sat down by the lake near my house to start the podcast, but I was having really bad connection, so I had to come back home.
Yeah. It sounds good in theory to listen to the podcast by the lake, but, sometimes technology interferes.
Yeah. Usually it's not live. Usually I'm listening to like the live feed update or something when I walk him, but but yeah. No, so we're in my backyard now. My mom works from home, so I was trying to like not be too loud, but no, I just had a quick question, more of a thought, I guess, of and it's interesting now that there's more powers, but Zach's power, it reminds me of Tyler's cloud power app that we never got to see. Like he got 8 weeks to use it. Oh,
and he never had to use it.
He never did have to use it, but it kind of let him float to through the first 8 weeks or whatever. So it got me thinking, like, in the past when we've had powers that don't get used, if they get recycled and we just don't even know about it.
Like past powers that weren't used by players. I mean, there really aren't that many powers that haven't been used. Usually Big Brother will try to force a power to be used in any way they can, but by like say putting an expiration date on it, or like allowing you to use it even if you are not in trouble, stuff like that. But I will say one thing, which is that Zach's power, I think, is more like Terry God idol to Tyler's kind of like regular immunity idol kind of situation, because from my understanding of it, at least, like his basically just gets to be automatically used at the end of the veto ceremony if he's still on the block, whereas Tyler had to be a little more precise about knowing when he was going to be up and at which ceremony. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I think it's a good comparison.
Yeah, I couldn't remember exactly how Tyler's worked. I tried looking on the wiki, but there wasn't like a lot of detail about it. And then I also don't know exactly how Zach's power is supposed to work either. But yeah, that got me thinking. And especially now with these other powers introduced that were like, Kelly might get the janky veto, and Mickey has Quinn's power. And so I guess even the ones that did get used kind of are getting recycled.
Yeah, I think sometimes they come up with ideas, and then if they don't pan out, they're like, that's not our fault. Let's just run it again and see if it works this time.
Like the coup d'etat that Boogie initially got, but was either taken away from him or that he didn't have to use. I don't quite remember. But
he was able to threaten to use it in order to get what he wanted.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You'd think that they would kind of learn recycling stuff doesn't always work so well, but
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Sometimes they bring back fan favorite
twists. That was all the
twists.
question I had this week, but
all right. Thank you so much, Jenny. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's talk to Spencer. Spencer, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. What's going on?
Yeah. First off, I had no idea what was going on in the Blockbuster last night. I saw that you had no idea what was going on as well. I was like, so they have to unscramble something? And then I thought like she said a phrase to the crown. Like I thought she was talking to the crown. I had no idea what was going on.
I had admittedly zoned out while they were explaining the rules, and I just thought okay, this is gonna go on forever. How complicated could it be? I'll figure it out in a second. And then it was like, wait, what's happening? And then it was over.
I thought I listened to the rules, but maybe I didn't, because I thought they had to say a phrase, but I guess I understood it once Taran explained it on the recap.
Yeah.
But I guess all I was gonna ask is completely unrelated to that, actually. What do we think Jimmy has to do this week to firm up a solid group? Because I know he thinks keeping the heavy hitters vibe going is something that makes sense for him, and I don't completely disagree with that, but I kind of think he needs to really firm up a real solid group. Who do we think? What do you think he needs to do? That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky because of how spread out things are, but I think that, the thing he was trying to build in the first week is pretty solid for him. The issue is that he just was too obvious about it, and now even if he does make something like that, it's, players like Mickey and Morgan are closer to each other than to him, and players like Amy and Ashley just this morning are talking about well, let's make sure to take out Catherine to weaken Jimmy. Let's make sure to take out Morgan to weaken Jimmy. And that's not bad because they're not targeting him, but it's also not good. But I do think that in general, getting the heavy hitters back on track to some degree is going to be useful to him. He is because the thing that does is it puts together a lot of the people that he is in an alliance with who don't like each other very much. And I think far too often people who have lots of allies are perfectly fine with those allies hating each other. Vince is a great example of this. Vince is I'm not defending any of my people. If you want to target Kelly and Keanu, please, I hate them. But if Jimmy is able to put these people together and kind of move them all forward as far as possible, and then have them go to war where he can ride that out to the end, that's a much better place to be. So by pulling this group together, I think that is the best way forward. And I think the Mickey and Morgan connections are very, very key. I think that he needs to keep holding on to that triple threat alliance as tightly as possible, because I think that they are going to be, well, especially now that Mickey has this power, that's going to be like a really, really important thing for him moving forward, especially given that Morgan is the biggest target of the three right now, which helps him out. And if Morgan gets sniped, where does Mickey go? Hopefully him. And holding on to Rachel. I think that Rachel is great for his game at the moment. She's like, because she exists, he's not the most loud, sort of like boisterous character in the house. So I think what he's doing is good. I think some easy consensus targets, also while weakening one of his allies, Vince, who's fine with it and not going to hold any objections. Pulling together the allies that he does have. Honestly, like for many people, I think his biggest threat is probably just Zach, who nobody's looking at and has the power to really turn the whole house around if he ever manages to get into some power. So yeah, otherwise just like don't overdo it again. Like, don't get caught up making alliances with too many people. Don't get caught doing it, I guess is what I should say.
Yeah. I think that's super interesting. I honestly like kind of thought that like I guess it's because what I am manifesting, that I want him to kind of make his own Black Widow brigade of like Morgan, Mickey, Ashley, Amy, Rachel. But I'm kind of curious, and then I'm going to sign off. But like, what do we think of him like firming up like a Kat Riley trio on the side as well?
I really like that. Yeah, I think that's a very good play. If he's able to solidify something like that, it's not like it's a secret because people know he's close to Kat. He was a little too loose with the tongue there earlier in the week, but it just provides him more pots to choose from, and more sides to go at war. I think for as fun as it might be to be like, well, if he gets, you know, the Black Widows together, like all these women, and then take down the rest of the house, like that would be fun. But then where does he stand amongst those women, right? Like, is he in the best spot there? Probably the better play is to hold on to the connections he has outside of it, let the sides go to war, because he's pretty well positioned in the middle of that.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much. Have a good one.
Thanks, Spencer. Yeah. Okay, take care. Bye. All right, let's say a little what up, Tim. Tim, how are you?
Oh, excited to talk to you. Welcome back, Rob. This is my first time on a BB Q&A.
Yes.
Been listening since Brian Lynch, so
wow,
been around a while.
Boy.
Okay. So what's going on?
And in honor of Taran, I wore my LFC shirt.
Yeah, old school.
Now that being said, it's time to update. That kind of brings me to the point of my call. I came up with some ideas on how to replace the Coke can.
Okay. Yes.
Listen, now my artwork is nowhere near the level of Derek's, so forgive me.
Yes.
But
okay.
Start off with Amon, and while I like the Sakamon, you got to go with the chapstick.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Good.
Yes.
Then with Frail Mary, I think with her Kowski cast, we got to go with a little cute cow.
Okay.
Got to be a cute cow, not an ugly one.
Oh, wait, hold on. So somebody cut the. Oh, Tim, you're back. Okay.
There with Maggie Morgan, was having trouble with that, but I love her smile, so I went with the Queen of Smiles on her.
Smiles. Yeah.
Now you threw me with Corey this week. I wasn't expecting him to be on there, so the only thing I could come up with was be America's Bee.
Okay.
We can shuffle at that. All right, with Kirsten, I had two different ones. The first one, since she likes to give all the podcasters piggyback rides, we could go with the little thing like that.
Yeah.
Or go with the hot dummy on island. That
Okay.
could also work for Scally as well. Now, my last one is with Puya. Now, obviously, what most people are going to say is they're going to want to go with Sock Puya. However, I'm partial to Nipple King.
Nipple King. Wow.
So the chat can vote on all these and decide what to do. But now,
Okay.
Taran, I wanted to let you know, I really think your coverage is top notch. I mean,
Thank you.
Keeps me going. It actually keeps me from watching the feeds as much because I get all the information from you. Since they don't have flashback, it makes it tough because I'm not going to be up all night.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
wanted to
All right.
make it quick. Excited to for the season. Listen, I know you got plenty of people that want to talk, and we're running long, so
Yeah. All right. Well, Tim, talk to
talk to you
Derek.
later.
Maybe to get some of that merch out there.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Y'all take care.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Okay. All right. Let's say hello to Brian.
Hey
Brian,
guys.
how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing great, Brian. What's been going on?
It's been a long time since I've participated in one
Yeah.
of these.
Everything going good?
Everything's going very well. Thanks.
Good.
Yeah. So I have a question for Taran, and in the preseason when we were looking at the house, we saw all this stuff in the house, right? All the keys, all the locks, all the doors, and then just like random kind of things that are seem to be all over the place. But I haven't seen you talk about if they're actually trying to do anything with any of these things. Have you seen anything go on yet?
It's a timely question because just last night they were finally starting to like look into some stuff. I think because they were prompted to, that they were given like a hint that like some things might be missing and like there might be some clues around the house or whatever. And so Rachel found that little like bomb timer that Amy set off in the beginning on the premiere. And so they are looking. They're noticing that things are going missing. But I would say in general, they're not like, and maybe reasonably so, like overly concerned that like they need to be investigating too much, because the reality is that, Big Brother doesn't usually let them find things of their own free will. Like if they're going to get something, it's usually because it's planned. But
Right.
maybe they'll do something different this season.
But also, do you think maybe people are kind of wary to be too investigative, that they'll sort of be, stick out like a sore thumb?
Partly that, and I think partly because like if people see you looking for things and where you're looking for things, then they might start to look for things themselves. I know that's what Rachel was thinking. Like Rachel kind of wanted to keep it on the down low. Like, let's not tell anybody that we're doing this, because then they'll be able to do it.
Okay. Well, great. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a great
All
weekend.
right, Brian, great talking to you. Okay.
You too. Good
All right,
seeing
take
you.
care. Bye. Okay. Let's say hello to JR. JR, how are you?
There we go. I couldn't figure out how to unmute. Hi, I'm good.
What's going on, JR?
Hi, Taran.
Hello.
I'm new to Big Brother, so but you said your book is good for beginners too, right?
Should be, yeah. That's
Yes.
that's the plan.
JR, talk us through. So you haven't watched any seasons before?
I watched starting with Suri.
Okay. All right.
And I
So
watched-
you're not that new.
I watched that one last year. I heard this from one of your patrons. I watched it on Twitter, so to speak. I don't think I watched a single episode. And then, this season seems pretty good. The cast seems pretty interesting.
It's a good
I'm
mix.
pretty excited.
Yeah.
A couple things. First of all, I don't know if Bryce is still here, but thank you for the antipasto history. I didn't know anything about that.
I didn't know anything about it either. Yeah. Nicole was telling me she was listening to it. But yeah, on the water cooler talk, Bryce will tell me about something that he is fascinated by on social media. And Taran, I heard the story of this sometimes this happens like on somebody posts like a TikTok, and then it's like there's more and more TikToks that just keep coming out of more and more about the story. And he told the story about a woman who brought an antipasto salad to somebody's house in
Virginia,
Virginia,
right?
and
West Virginia, or I don't know where, but
insanity ensued.
You got to listen to the whole thing. Bryce did a good job with it. So, I also wanted to give a shout out for Parvati's book. I got it arrived last week, and Taran, I'm going to order yours too. So don't worry.
Thank you.
And Parvati's book is amazing. So highly recommend for anybody, even non-survivor people. She does a good job of breaking down her experience.
Yes.
I've heard good
and
things. Yeah.
It's an easy read. What was that, Taran?
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I gave it 5 stars, which I don't usually do. It was very good. So highly recommend. I know we were all inundated with Coldplay yesterday, but did you see somebody posted that Ava was actually on the Meet Cutes NYC?
Taran,
no. Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
What is that?
So Taran, can you give it to him? It's a good thing for the slot. So save it for the slot.
Okay.
Taran, do you have the link? Could you give it to Rob?
I I'm sure somebody can.
Somebody will have it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
It came up on my feed somewhere in between all the Coldplay stuff. Will Kirby was tagged, so hopefully you should be able to find it. I'll see.
Oh.
I'm not good at tagging people, but I'll see if I can figure it out. But okay, one last thing. Are we getting any Talking with T-Birds this summer? I know.
Yes, we're going talking with
and you're
T-Bird.
leaving.
She has a pretty good list of people that she is working on. So yes,
Okay.
we had a call with T-Bird earlier in the week, and she's working on. I believe that the first one of the new season, I think, is going to record after I get back from my trip.
Okay. Okay. So it'll be more like Talking with T-Bird fall time. Okay.
It'll be
Sounds
like
good.
August and September.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
And I was just in Paris in June. You'll have a blast.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to go every few years, but yeah, you'll have a blast. I like that you're just taking it easy and not hitting all the sites. So
Yeah, we're not going to go to everything. I think part of the fun is I think we want to try to like walk around and explore.
the vibes. Yeah.
The vibes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You'll have a blast.
The romantic vibes. Yes. Thank you, JR.
Of course. All right.
Great to talk to you. Okay.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye. Okay. Kyle is here. Kyle.
Hi.
Hey, Kyle. What's
Hi,
happening?
Well, I would say not much, but I'm in my last little stretch of school here, so you guys are helping me a lot with getting through that.
Yes. Okay. What school are you in?
I'm getting my master's in business analytics, actually.
Whoa.
So maybe that'll help me with the stock watch. Who knows?
Maybe.
Bit of a stretch there. But I had
We could
two
use
questions.
that, Kyle.
Oh yeah. I know you also mentioned working on the site, and I have a computer science background too. So
Kyle could be your person, Taran.
Maybe.
that'd be fun. But I have two questions. We'll see if we have time for both. As like a D&D guy, I'm like really
Like
interested
Keanu?
yeah. I'm like really interested in Keanu specifically. And I want to root for him, but I also really recognize how much of a hole that he's put himself in right now. Is there any chance that he could like get himself out of it? Because I worry with too much power, he might end up making things worse.
Yeah, it feels pretty hopeless at this point, to be honest. Like, even if he survives the week, which he very well might, given that he has this power, he has no allies. Like, he has Kelly, who's obviously not the greatest ally, and he has Vince, who is actively a bad ally. Like actually probably a net negative to have Vince as an ally. And other than that, it's really nobody. Like he really just doesn't have anybody who is even willing to work with him. And he also has just shown no capability of pivoting or adapting to new information at all. He just had a conversation with Rachel this morning that was the exact same conversation he had right before the beheading fight. And he still doesn't recognize that it's not working, that like he can't keep pretending that he believes Rachel. It's written all over his face. And so I think a lot would need to happen. I think that like maybe if he survives a few rounds based on some competitions, based on like maybe some other people getting in the way, he can work himself into some other kind of structure. But yeah, it's not looking great. It's really not.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, unfortunately. And I'm sure he's a great DM like outside of the house, but
You don't know
there's this
that.
term that's true, but there's like this term that's used in D&D called railroading, where like the DM essentially like is almost too controlling, where they have a very specific idea of like where the plot should go and are really just like trying to force the players to go in that direction. And I think that might be what's happening here. I like the D&D analogies have been like going crazy in the back of my mind this past week.
No, yeah, I mean, I'd actually just talked about a story. I had always wanted to be a writer, and when I was a kid, I wrote a horror story on the IMDb forums as an RPG, which is maybe not the correct term for it. But it's what we called it when I was a kid. And we used players would sign up. It's very Dungeons and Dragons-esque. And I was a railroader. I had an idea for a story I wanted to write, and it was in that format, and I had people playing, and I was just like, you know, you can live or die, but I'm going to write my story.
Taran, would you characterize, are the producers of Big Brother railroaders?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think in many ways they try to be, but I don't think they are successful as often as they would like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Kyle, was that everything, or you had the other question?
Quick question, because speaking of a book, I was curious just on the brainstorming side of things. How did you decide on like what exactly you wanted to focus on for your book? Because I'm assuming, like, as someone who does writing in the background, this could have easily been like 3 times the length that it turned out to be.
I mean, I've talked about this a little bit, but in the proposal, it was like 60, 70,000 words was the range I gave. And then I turned in like 115,000 words. And so it did balloon out a little bit, but only because I thought it was necessary. It's really like, it's all about, for me, it was just about like telling the stories that matter both historically for context, but also for the specific like meta analysis that I'm trying to do on the show. And so like there are some topics that I think are important. So for instance, when I talk about the early days of the community, I tie that into the story of Kaser and Jennifer, because I think that is a very important story in the history of the show, but also speaks really well to the way that the community worked back in those days. And then similarly, when I'm talking about Big Brother 15, I'm tying that into both the historical context of racism in Big Brother, while also talking about the advancement of social media and the prevalence of that and how that impacted season 15 and then the show moving forward. And so it was all about just finding stories that can speak to multiple aspects of the show, which unfortunately did mean cutting out a lot of stuff. I talk in the acknowledgements about how I go through Big Brother history with a machete in this book because stuff just has to go. And I feel bad about that, but like I feel like I told the stories I needed to complete the overall narrative that I was trying to get at.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have stuff I want to add, but I know I'm short on time. But keep up the great work, you guys.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank
Kyle.
you.
Okay, all right, take care, and good luck with school.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, let me go to Harmony. Harmony, how are you?
I am great. I have had, I think, what day is it? Like the day
Friday.
before
TGIF,
yesterday.
remember?
Yes, Derek TGIF. I was out doing, there was like a little traders event, and I got to hang out with Brandon Donlin and Teeny and Stephanie
I heard about
Berger,
that. Yeah.
Callie Malbandian. And speaking, I don't think I ever told you, Rob, but the reason I got into RHAP is kind of because of Taran, because I was watching, I was like, oh, I can't keep up with the feeds. And it came up on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I'm going to start watching these. And then I went to the channel and then started watching everything else. So that's actually like
There you go.
how
There we
I got
go.
here.
That's why they call me the gateway drug.
Yeah. Well, one
I didn't know that
gateway
was one
Taran
of
in
your
the morning.
names. Yeah.
That's the drug you have to take in the morning.
Mhm.
The Taran a day in your
Yeah.
cup. But speaking of burgers, the Burger Boys, and actually perfect that I come on next, because you're talking about the history of racism in your book, and I wanted to ask, like, talking about it's still fresh on my mind. Everybody's talking about, oh, the powers, da. Mentally, I'm still on the shower mess. Like, I'm still mad about it. I think we saw that Julie said that it was a 30-minute shower. And then they were just chatting, and obviously this ballooned into something big. And this harkens a little bit back to like what happened with Taylor, how a lot of people got things in their head, and then suddenly the entire house thinks that you're rude and unreasonable and terrible and evil when you did nothing wrong. But like, interestingly, I find that what happened with Taylor was edited differently than what's happened with Ashley. And I guess I wanted to hear like your opinion on why it is that I think, at least from the show wise, maybe I was also like listening to the updates, I don't remember, but it felt like Taylor, for the audience, we felt for her, but I feel like they're trying to maybe villainize Ashley a bit here instead of just being, I don't know, honest about it. So why do you think that is?
This is a story I tell in the book, and it is, I think, an important one, because that first, I think it's episode 2, like the first 2 episodes for Taylor were edited pretty poorly for her. That they took this scene of Taylor playing pool in the backyard with the guys. She does like an on the table shot. She did it once, but they took that one scene and they took multiple angles of it and they edited it to make it look like she did it multiple times throughout the entire segment. And then, of course, Taylor's not speaking in the DR in this time, or like in commenting on it in the ways that she would be. But we're hearing from Monty about how good looking Taylor is. And then we're hearing from Paloma about how Taylor's obviously not subtle about what she's trying to do with the guys. And we know from talking to her, the deep dive, like Taylor was out there being egged on by them to do the shot one time. And she's just trying to socialize like anybody else. But it was edited to be in that way. And it wasn't until future episodes, after there was a huge amount of pushback from the online fan base watching the feeds, that the episodes started kind of coming around to the more sympathetic version of the edit for Taylor. And to this day, there are people who will go, yeah, I didn't love Taylor when she was trying to like seduce the guys, but then she got better. And that's because the edit changed, right? Like, yeah, it's so astounding to me how important that is. And that's, I think, the difference that we're seeing here is that we don't have feeds of what happened. And so they, even with Julie admitting like it wasn't an accurate edit, most people will never know that. Most people will never see that. And so there's very little incentive for the edit to ever even check back in on it in any way, unless Ashley suddenly becomes a hero. But even if she does suddenly become a hero of the edit, most people will go, well, she sucked at first, but then she became cool.
It's like Taylor was a hero, and apparently that's what people are still saying. Yeah, I was just curious about that. I'm really glad that she came out triumphant, but I think that I don't know. I don't know why this keeps happening, but I hope that the show kind of locks in, and also that Big Brother is a masterclass in how editing, because they're doing it live, how editing so changes people's perception of things. Like I remember thinking like when they're like, "Oh, vote for who you don't want," and they edited Quinn to make sure that Quinn was like in the bottom, and I'm like, "Oh, I wonder who's going to be in the bottom." But I don't want to take up too much time. I just wanted to like pick your brain on that, and I can't wait to pick up that book.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Of course.
Harmony, thank you so much. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye. Okay. Let's go to Motts and then Bree. Motts, how are you?
Hey, I'm so excited. How are you guys?
Yeah. Oh, I could feel it. Yes. What's happening?
Nothing much. It's just exciting to talk to both of you and finally meet the gateway drug. It's honestly so legit because I found you guys because of your deep dive with Taylor, because I just had no familiarity with it, but I just wanted to hear more of her thoughts on her season because it was so unique. And anyway, thank you guys for the blockumentaries. I literally binged all of them in the off season, and so if you guys ever make any more of those, like there's an interest. And then, sorry, my question is kind of silly. I'm aware of this, but I'm just so curious because this is like part of the reason that I feel like Big Brother is such a complex game. Is this whole like chess thing that Morgan was kind of using to basically target Zay throughout this last week. And so I was curious, Taran, if you had any thoughts on, you're in the Big Brother house, it's week 1, and a player asks you to play chess. Is this like genuinely something you need to really consider? Like, am I good at chess? Are people going to use it against me? Am I bad at chess? Will people like use it to say I'm like incompetent and can't be used as like an ally? Or do you think it's just a non-factor? Because like it kind of ties back to like Janelle in season 6 talking about it as well, like using chess as a strategy, or other players like ability to play chess. And so I was just really curious, like, do players really need to be concerned about their ability to play chess or not?
Yeah, I mean, Zay was concerned about being a salesman. He should have been more concerned about being a chess player, I guess. I mean, I think the reality is, and we talk about this, but like the reality is that I think Morgan would have targeted Zay regardless. And the chess thing was just a good excuse that she was able to use to paint more of a target on him. She didn't have a good relationship with him, and he was connected to people that she didn't want to have him as a number for. And so she was like, what is a good, oh, well, he's good at chess. That means he's secretly a lot smarter than you think. And just it pushed that hard. It doesn't mean that, like, you know, I think chess is a thing you could very easily claim to have no knowledge of, and it's not going to hinder your social game. Unless it's unless you're a grandmaster or something, and it's your entire life. But like, you know, lying about your job is often a mistake, because then you can't talk about a huge part of your life a lot of the time. Lying about, you know, being good at chess, I think is probably a pretty easy thing to do. So why not? Why not just be like, yeah, I suck at chess? I mean, I've always figured if I went into the game, depending on if I want to be seen as somebody who's good at challenges or not. Like when they're playing these little like side games, when they're playing Mafia, when they're, you know, even just like if they're playing like throw a ball into a bucket, like why are you showing off that you're really good at these things? You're not winning anything, right? Like it's just a game for nothing. So you might as well act like you're bad at it, especially if you're playing Mafia. Be like, oh man, I fully believed this person was telling the truth, or be a really bad liar in the game. Like, you know, I think there's small things there can be a lot of value in sometimes. So yeah.
Oh, for sure. Okay, cool. That was it for me. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. And hope you have a great weekend.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. And then we got Bree. Bree, how are you?
Good. I'm a longtime listener, first time caller. So it's nice.
Yes. Oh, great to hear from you.
I just have a question, kind of piggybacking off of Mott's. So I am an attorney, and I've always wondered, when you go into the Big Brother house, do you tell them that you're an attorney? Because it's 3 years of school. It's a large part of your life. It takes over every single day. And I would just love to know, like, should you or should you not tell other house guests you're an attorney?
I mean, I'm going to lean toward yes. I think you should just be honest about your profession. I think that, like, a lot of people will come in and they will have jobs, and you can spin anything. You can spin Morgan's a gamer, Zeno's chess, Zach is in sales. You know, like Rachel played the game before twice and won. You know, like a lot of these things can be used against you for sure. But at the end of the day, like, you're going to click with who you click with, and you're not with the people you're not. And that's probably not going to change if they know you're an attorney versus not knowing you're an attorney. There are probably very few people in the house that are going to be like, well, I really like Bree, but she's an attorney, so I don't know if we can work with her. What they might say is, you know, I've been skeptical of Bree, and you know what? She's also an attorney, you know? So if you feel like it would be a hindrance to be able to, like, fully be yourself and talk openly and bond with people because you're hiding such a big part of your life, then I think for sure just say you're an attorney. If you think, like, I barely ever talk about being an attorney anyway, like I never talk about it, it's like I have other hobbies, then yeah, maybe you can do something else. You can just keep it to yourself. But I would definitely lean generally toward just be honest.
Yeah, I wonder how Ashley is keeping it in, because I feel like if you slip up once, then that's a huge reason to target you. If it does get out later that you hid that you were an attorney, then it paints a bigger target on your back than if you just said it up front.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, I would say more so just like your own personal policing of yourself and concern for slipping up will probably do more damage than even slipping up would. Because you're going to be like, oh crap, I said something that somebody might, and I think we're seeing maybe a little bit of that with Lauren. Lauren has admitted that she's a super fan, but like you saw in the beginning that she was like, oh no, I cheered too much for Rachel. They're going to think I'm a super fan. And it's just like, if you are constantly hovering over yourself, policing every action and word because of a secret that probably doesn't matter anyway, you're really just putting a cap on your potential in the game, I think.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Taran was also my gateway drug, so it's nice to meet you.
There it is.
Okay, thank you so much, Bree. Okay, there you go. All right, so Taran, that's a patron Q&A here to get it started in week 1 of BB27. We'll have, of course, the live feed update on Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday night, we'll be all back together for the recap of the next episode of Big Brother. Karen, what do you have going on in between now and then?
Well, of course, it's been talked about plenty. I've got the book going on. Check out the book. Otherwise, you can find me on YouTube and Twitch. I'm streaming during episodes and other exciting times during the live feeds. And of course, plenty of podcasts coming up. You can also check out the show I do on scripted TV over at We Know Scripted TV called The Tastemakers, where I'm doing my best, at least during the Big Brother season, to stay on top of all the new shows and movies that are coming out with Grace.
Okay. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to have the slop. We're also going to have a Patron podcast I did with Brandon Donlin yesterday. Taran, we did something where we used Brand Steel to come up with a list of 20 random survivors from seasons 1 through 20. And then I just told whatever stories I had about any interaction I had ever had with those people. It turned out to be very fun with Brandon, and I think people will really enjoy it. So check that out. That's going to be coming out over the weekend for the patrons only. So thank you so much for joining us. Take care. Have a good one. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.